Welcome back, folks. We are finally ready to bring you finals action. Nitera, it's been a fun day so far already, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been quite a beautiful one indeed. And the only other beautiful thing I see here is you and your beautiful face as we go into this one. I mean, if I had to come back in here looking at that, the only thing contesting that is the finals.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. But it is just one of those things where at the very least I got blessed with the RNG skins that were applied to me at birth. But without further ado, the next game that is going to be on the scoreboard is going to be the lower quarterfinal, the redemption arc from Frog3. However, it is going to be an uphill battle because they're going to be going up against BKO, Blakeu, Kelcam, Oppenheimer, which are the NA, probably would like to say the DEFCON 5 level threat.
Hawaii 5-0, so to speak.
They are a very, very locked in squad. They've competed in every single other finals series that has come through in the esports scene for this game. It is very fledgling, but still very fun to watch. And these guys take the game seriously. They play every single day. I know that Blakeu has a lot, at least 1,000 hours in this game. So do the teammates. And we are looking at a similar band structure, except this time, instead of going second into Seoul, we're going second into Skyway Stadium. It is going to be Las Vegas, once again picked by Frog3, and Blakeu, Kelcam, Oppenheimer going to be picking Skyway.
Now, I'm gonna be very honest with you. I mean, just because we see Frog3 the last round, I'm a bit concerned going to Las Vegas if they're gonna either have flashbacks, PTSD over what happened in the last game, or will they just continue to do the same strategy? And this time it works, so they are encouraged to do it again. That is my concern. I really hope it doesn't work out, so they actually realize we need to switch the strategy. We need to not run around the map. Objectives there.
Exactly. Frog3 really has got to get a slight grip on it, because if there's anything I know from BKO is that they are the pioneer of that opening jump pad RPG. Now, we did not get to see a lot of that from the last few games, and I believe that's just because, NTHX, they're very calculated with their approach of how they want to use it. They used it a few times, but not every time. BKO,
not every time.
We are going to be seeing that RPG being fired from 30 feet in the air every single time, because the jump pad RPG opener is a staple to North American finals action.
Low-key a rocket jump into a rocket, so to speak. But hey, we'll have to see how this really pans out. I mean, we had the strategy going in. We have seen the compositions. Currently favored to 2 mediums, 1 heavy. The question is how they can turn this around. Now, I want to be crazy and say that we might see a sledgehammer, but the range deficit on that is just not worth it. We're not going to see that happen. Maybe unless they're crazy enough to take a charge in instead of, I don't know, a shield. However, I want to come to the concept that because we're playing on Las Vegas again, while we talk a little bit about how there's a mix in Las Vegas, the verticality mixed into a lot of the storefronts here, rather casinos, we're gonna have to see how they want to play around this. So C4 for a switch up here, like you were talking about, might also be the strategy they can go for if they want to, run around the map.
Yeah, so from BKO, it is going to be always the C4, the RPG, and the Dome Shield. You'll see that every single time in North America heavies. That being said, they're going to be going up against Frog3, which we saw using barricades. Slightly different setup when it comes to how they approach their team fights, but I think that it's going to be a lot more stable. Another thing as well is that we did not see the heavy shotgun in that last fight. NTHX and Frog3 both opted for the Lewis gun.
True.
But BKO might go somewhere differently. That being said, Las Vegas is definitely a map where both are extremely viable. So there is a chance that we will get another set of double Lewis guns. But I'm really excited to see BKO. I don't even know how they ended up in these lower, lower brackets. But at the same time, if there's anyone that doesn't want to be here, it's BKO.
I guess that is true. BKO definitely has a strong standing as per what you're saying right now, and it's kind of weird how they just dropped themselves there. Just maybe luck of the draw here on the seeding, but then again, strong team being put into the lower brackets here. no problem for them. They've got themselves quite the journey though, moving up to them. They have to fight NTHX at some point. Question just where. But right now, first match for them, Frog3 first, right? They have to deal with that.
Yeah, excited to see what Frog3 is going to be able to pull out. And, you know, again, it just comes to that thing. Again, say it with me, chat. Defend your cash outs.
Look, if you're allergic to money, you may send it to me. I think we can set up some payment strategy. I'm not sure if we're allowed to do that. But dear me, you know, we can do something with PayPal.
It's one of those things where I love that chat is immediately trying to go away. Leave your cash out. Let your cash out go away. All right, let's see. We're going to be on Frog3 BKO. We're starting now, Ryan. All the weight is gone. And let's go ahead and see. We have the same setup here. It is going to be double medium heavy for Frog3. If we could tab over to BKO, love to see what they are running because there is a chance we get a light. Although... Yep, there it is. Kelcam is running the light.
So far.
So the LH1 for that extremely far chip damage.
That's insane how much they were able to hit them all the way here. Look, their shots are not always hitting, but when they do, ooh la la, the damage on that just kind of chipping them off so hard. Now I'm surprised they didn't go for the rocket launcher breaking the floor, you know, so low-key DMAT here. But hey, at least they got the ball themselves.
Exactly. So honestly, BKO, there's a good chance that they have been lying in wait for this fight and that they kind of know what Frog3 is going to pull. So this is one of those things, right? They're playing heavily around the APS. And this is what prevented NTHX from doing a lot with the RPG. Because obviously, when you've got the APS turret, RPG's not going to connect to that trophy system gameplay. So we're going to be watching now as F3 tries to get into cash out A. What does BKO have waiting for them?
Well, I'll tell you what BKO is waiting for them. A very nice and beautiful rifle standing in the line here, and a few nades for them right now, as we do see them actually making contact with a very brief moment right now. The vault is there, and they want to go for cash out B, but I think they already know that, and it's kind of hard for them to try and approach there. Oh, information given out from that really noisy glass break, but at this point, it's just kind of weird how they can really puff out.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty common thing that you see in Las Vegas where you're kind of scared to exit because you know you're going to get jumped on. And what's going to end up happening here is that once Frog actually gets into the cash out, if they stay on, they've got a good chance. But if they try to leave and play for that weird play style, where are you going? Where are you going? Don't leave!
Where are you going? Hey guys!
This is not bad. They're just playing from the other room.
Oh, wait, hold on. Okay.
This is viable.
So they're walking away again, and I'm a little bit...
No, don't leave!
Guys!
Come back!
They're taking the point! Go back in!
It was a free steal! It's a free steal!
No, it's all part of the plan. They want to gather them in real quick before we do it, but looks like they kind of falling short of that one.
Oh no, Frog3! Frog3, what are you doing? Stay alive! And Frog3 is wiped immediately. Oh.
Command Center to Frog3, where are you at? Objective is being left alone. Command Center to Frog3, repeat, where are you at?
This is Mission Control coming in. Frog3, please get back on the point.
If I had a nickel for every single time Frog3 has plugged a vault into a cash out and left, I would probably have an entire cash out worth of nickels.
You know, I wouldn't mind that. If I could cash out a bunch of nickels like that, that'd be absolutely fine. Right now, they are to play against them, and they have a disadvantage. They gave the cash out away, right? So this is gonna be a high-packed action moment. They have to really turn this around. They are above this catch out, but how are they gonna turn this around?
It's one team fight. That's all they have to do is win one team fight. Now the issue is they're stressed about the steal. You can see they're just looking at the cash out, not looking for the players. And here they are, the opening RPG damage. The APS isn't going to do much here when you're already down. One healer will be traded, but there we go. 1-to-1 trade, and that is going to be a solid attempt here. It's just Kelcam here, but is he going to be able to block? Is there enough time to block? Kelcam, he did do enough, but he did He stunned the steal at the right time, and there was no time to steal. That's BKO with the first cash out.
BKO being absolutely helped out by Frog3 here as the sixth member of the team. Very nicely done, in honesty. But jokes aside here, Frog3 did not have to give that up if they had just stayed on point.
And this is what I love about Light, is that you have the opportunity to go for that stun. You have the ability, and yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? Frog3, I get it. They're an aggressive team. They want to play for that retake while still owning the cash out. But when you're playing against a team like BKO, you can't do that. This probably works in your ranked games, but in scrims and in a match, no. So we do see, like, I love this, right? I love the stability. They can pull that stability on the point and they'll be fine.
Right, and of course, while we are seeing all that here, they are going to see if they can turn this around. The vault is basically theirs for taking here, but the question is whether they can do the same thing onto the cash out, which is stick to the point.
Exactly. Stick to the point indeed. I have just been given word that unfortunately Calcam's stream is not running the same 30-second delay. So whenever we jump to BKO's POV, we are looking into the future. So I think that we'll be sticking on Frog3's POV for the time being. But when it comes down to it, look at this. Frog3, even with their heavy sustain, they're still just getting caught out. It's like they don't really understand the positioning, and this is their map pick. They're just immediately run down by the opponents, and I just love to see the fact that no matter where Frog3 sets up, BREAKOUT, Calcam, Oppenheimer have the ability to just jump in and take advantage of the situation.
Right now, the situation is definitely looking very bleak for side of Frog3 here. They are in the back foot and on the lower bracket here. They cannot afford to keep giving up these cash outs. I mean, if you're gonna do that after you get the cash out. You know, don't donate it to a firm or something. You know, that's all fine and good. Right now, your main objective here: hold on to the cash out for dear life. You know what? It's a Mr. Beast video. Put your hand on the cash out, and the last person who takes it off wins the money. Do that.
At this point, that would be a better strategy than what they're pulling out now. And you know, there might be Frog3 enjoyers that are saying, no, it's 40 chess. Let them play. Let them cook. But at the same time, we've been letting them cook, and I'm still hungry.
And right now, look at that. They've gone in hard and heavy here. They have everything set up for this. Cash outs here. They have the C4 like we saw.
And this is going to be a strong opening at the very least from Frog3. I'm loving to see the fact that they're actually making a little bit of an impact, but they still haven't made any progress in the team fight. So they're starting to steal, but this is just falling into their hands here. Look at the RPG. RPG not going to do a lot of damage in the open. Calcam will go out here, so we're now into a 3-on-2 situation, and there goes MXKX. This is going to be a very unfortunate fall for BKO, as we are now going to be seeing the fact that Frog3 finally finds himself in an opening with a soft reset.
Look at where they're going. They got jump pad out.
No!
We're gonna see them actually lose the cash out once again. And stay with me. They're not gonna defend a cash out.
Wait, hold on. They have it. Wait, this is good. They're close. They have the APS. They have the sustain. This is good. This is what you like to see. The thumbs up. I take it.
Hold on. Okay, they're still staying. This is fine. Okay, you know, they were cooking again.
And there we go. Calcam is going to go out. Oh, no. This is so unfortunate.
And then we're going to have a quick commercial break into turning over here. As you do see the side of BKO turning around to see if they can take this one. A little bit of delay, unfortunately, but hey. It's all good.
Yeah. So it did end up going to Frog3, as we could see, which is good, right? So they figured out, hey, if we play closer to the objective, it'll work. And so now, you know, they do end up running away with one here. And BKO, they are going to now have to adjust their approach a little bit differently. Oh, no, I think there was... Oh, there was a crash.
Ah, I see what happened.
I think that's why.
Unfortunate.
That's super unfortunate to see. It's yeah, the custom lobby servers have been having this issue for quite a while.
And that's so unfortunate because we finally saw them stop cooking. We were gonna buy takeout finally, and they actually stayed onto the cash out.
Yeah, I mean, going into this sort of setup here, I think that they're gonna be waiting. I think that MXKX has like kind of got the word like, hey, there's a crash, wait for them to come back. But seeing as they just started the cash out, I think that could mean one of two things: either somebody died, or they're just ready to go and everyone's back in. So we'll see how this cash out ends up playing out. We can see the play style, right? This is okay. You're a light player. Light players are supposed to be holding from this angle. They open up with the glitch nades, and this is good. Opening chip damage is going to work at least to stress out Frog3 a little bit, while MXKX and Oppenheimer get ready to press into the cash out. You see the stun about to come out from Kelcam. As soon as he can delete the shield, stun is going to come through on the point. There it is. And the heavy is going to get insta-deleted. Now the mediums are going to try to come in and res the situation, but unfortunately nothing can be resed if you're backed into a corner with a shotgun that's not connecting bullets.
That is it.
He just kissed the fire barrel.
There's absolutely nothing you can do here. You know what? Go out in a blaze of glory, but not that literally. As we do see here, cash out is going to the side of none other than BKO. The situation again looking very grim for the side of Frog3 here. I'm not too sure what they can turn or what they can do to turn this around.
I mean, I just loved that we just see him like face first into the fire barrel to shoot it to just end his life before the enemies can. All right, so we see the barricade coming up. We see the glitch nades from Kelcam. Both are going to connect here. The steal is going to get canceled. He has the stun gun in hand to cancel the next steal as well. And it looks like the stun gun's going to miss, but his bullets are not. That's one, that's two, and a third going down by the C4 is going to be another team wipe here for BKO, and that is going to allow BKO to get that $20,000, that magical number. So that is going to be map 1 over here, my friend.
Yeah, that's a true jump scare, so to speak, here coming in from Blur. But I gotta say, I mean, this time a little bit better on the side of Frog3 here. They had an idea of what they're going for, and finally, Frog3 really stood their ground there, which, I mean, we all love to see here. Kudos to you guys, but need to do that a little bit more. You guys had it in the bag here against BKO, but we're gonna see if they can turn this around.
Absolutely, and I think that they will be able to, right? Like, they got a cash out there, right? They're learning. They have the ability to, figure out what's going wrong and fix it. So this is good. They have fixed something, right? And so that means that map 2, we could see some good stuff. That being said, map 2 happens to be BKO's pick. And, well, BKO are in a much better position to utilize their jumping RPG strat, the rocket jump, as you like to call it, on Skyway Stadium. Skyway has so many openings for that rocket jump technique to get that insane opening damage. And I'm curious to see how Frog3 is going to react.
Now that you say rocket jump, it doesn't really look like that. It's more like jump rocket, right? And even that's wrong. So
jump pad RPG, pad rocket, pad
rocket
if you
sounds
will.
better. Yeah, no, pad rocket. Rocket jump, just saying. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to Skyway, right, especially now that we know that BKO is going to be putting Kelcam on that light play style, there are a few places that they might need to worry about because, for example, construction site on Skyway Stadium could hurt a little bit if you're a light player. There are a lot more angles to get caught out from, and especially with those tight concrete rooms in the underbelly of the construction site, it could be difficult to find an opening.
Right. So, I mean, all that is well and good here. And I think one biggest thing now is if you're going to go Skyway Stadium, what's the strategy here, right? I mean, are we going to take up any of those cranes, the little floating skyscrapers that's literally in the sky, or are we going to just hunker down a building? I mean, these are like the things you need to go through. And for me personally, I think I've played this map a fair bit of times compared to the others, and it's gotta be the cranes for me. I'm just gotta be the cranes.
I mean, up, down, left, right variant of Skyway Stadium is my favorite variant of any single map. So I would love to see that if we're able to get that variant picked for Skyway. The other thing as well on Skyway Stadium is that, well, if Frog3 just can't help themselves but to escape from the cash out that they're holding, there's a lot of places for them to do that. But at the same time, if we go to the house that you can see right at the middle of that map preview right there, if they go on that house cash out, then there are less places for them to run away to, which means I think they could be more successful. But if it does end up going to the hospital, which is at the very back of that map preview that you're looking at, well, that hospital has a lot of places where Frog3 might just succumb to the same sort of errors that we're used to seeing from them.
We'll have to see how this turns out already, because right now, the one thing that they have going for them is that in Skyway at least, lots of places where you don't really have a lot of room to run around, especially if you take the higher ground, like the literal floating ground. Then, of course, there's a chance here that they could win purely because they are left with the only option to stay put. I mean, like, you don't want to drop off from your cash out, right? But what if they do jump on a cash out? And that's kind of the scary thing for me right now. If they do, then I'd be speechless. I don't know if I can cast anymore. So, Artie, just know that if I stop talking, there's a reason why.
I mean, the thing is, you can't be scared of the cash out. And Frog3, they have the anchor ability, right? When they put out those barricades, they put down the APS, and they have their healers ready to just support the heavy to do what he does best. Then I'm so confident in them because it did give BKO a little bit of it gave them a little bit of a stressful situation to deal with when it came down to those team fights. But it only worked once. We have to see them put themselves into the right situation to make it work again.
Well, we'll have to see whether they will get the right situation because, I mean, things has not been lining up for them. Let's be fair here. So if we go back into it later on, we'll figure out how they're gonna turn this around here. But Frog3 has only one more chance to make this work here, as they're down to match point here, which on the side, not looking too good for them. I mean, like, if they really want to hold this position down, then you gotta hold on to that cash out. So hopefully
They have to not run away from it. They have to not run away from it. It's been 3 maps now against 2 different teams. Frog3, don't run away from it. We've learned this.
You might even say this is like a Bible for the finals, right? Like, don't leave the checkpoint. Don't leave your cash out. Stay on it. Like, that's what you need to do. And why are you running away?
It's just so funny. Every time we see Frog3 just running in, it's like, yay, they're sticking on. They're only 1 room away. This is perfect. And then just, where are you going? No, please go back. Oh my gosh. And yeah, I mean, in this case, it's a little bit different than we're used to, right? Because it's Frog3 that leaves and it's BKO that takes the kids. It is what it is, but at the same time, we are getting everybody into the lobby ready to go for the next one.
Every day when I look at Frog3 and how they just leave the cash out, I feel like we stray further away from God. just a little bit for each time.
Every step that Frog3 takes away from their own cash out is a step that I take towards the edge of my balcony. The match is going to be starting right now, Nitera, so we don't have to wait too much longer. I'm super excited to see what BKO has cooking for us on their map pick of Skyway Stadium.
I'm a little bit excited too, because I mean, if they were to choose to hunker down into any of the buildings here, the dematerializer can come in here. C4, not super effective given how high or each floor is. It's not going to really do too much damage or really disruption here. But then again, we might be able to see a few tricks up their sleeve here. I mean, building destruction is a thing. Demolition works can be a part of the strategy now onto this map.
Yeah, I mean, 1 floor is all you need to get that delay, and we did see that happen at least once in the last game on Vegas. But on this map, especially if they are going to be in the office building, if they're going to be in hospital, just having the C4 for the ability to drop and then kind of give that little bit of breathing room, right? And that's the biggest thing. It all comes down to timing. In the finals, a 5-second difference could mean the entire world, the entire game. And that is what BKO's setup has going for them, because they can use the C4 to drop it down another floor, which buys them an extra 5 seconds. They have Kelcam's stun gun, which can stop the steal, which gives them another 5 seconds, which allows them to just continue to have more time. So now suddenly the 180 seconds that you had to steal the cash out before, now you suddenly have a lot less. You have 10 seconds less, and that is just in one segment. Not to mention the team wipe. I have to mention going through. It's going to be a fantastic fight to see here once BKO shows us what they've got cooking.
All right. And with that being said, though, they have their lineups ready. Head pats, hand claps. Let's run it down.
Absolutely, and we do see once again the gateway, the stun gun, the glitch grenades, tried and true for the lights, and Kelcam on that LH1. First gateway going to be going out here. Let's see where that second portal ends up leading us. We are going to be watching as Frog3 now already on the vault, and hey, we know that they could do the vaults, but let's see how BKO tries to get to this vault fight here. We're seeing MXKX's view now as the healer. They're going to be getting ready to pad over, and we get the first elimination on the board already. That's going to be one trade through, but that gas is going to be doing a lot. That's going to be a full team wipe off the bat for BKO.
Okay, and here we go. Resurrect is coming in here. They've got the revive. Now they got to turn this around for themselves here, as we do see BKO position themselves so well here. Their posture to really just turn around if need be, or force a fight if they have to. As we do see Cash A checkout finally being touched by the hands of none other than BKO. How will Frog3 respond?
I mean, the thing is that once it gets into the cash out, we're just gonna have to see what Frog3's approach is, because once BKO get actually baked into the objective, which they are right now, they're sort of already onto this house. They're supporting themselves from every possible direction. Look at this; they have every angle covered, so they won't get caught off guard.
They're jumping now.
Right now, they're waiting for opportunity here.
Minions are jumping first.
Finding the mark, they know where they are right now. Information has been gathered, and they're just waiting for a chance to go in and take this one out. With their cash out looking a little bit lower each time, look, they have to start responding like right now.
Yeah, and once they actually, figure out how to approach the objective, maybe they'll have a chance. But for now, I don't think that was the correct way to start the fight.
Ooh, here we go. They finally got back together, and now they just start to push this one down. They have to be able to be confident enough to say that, okay, this is my time to push in. Whatever happens, whatever happens. And it just feels very awkward for them to just try and make this work here. Nades are thrown out. They're not going to find their mark here entirely. They're just going to try to slow down a little bit with smoke. But that's all they need.
Look at that. Kelcam has the perfect positioning and angles to just do some insane damage. Frog3 can't even get close to the point. You can kind of tell that the way that Oppenheimer, Kelcam, and MXKX are playing on this, they are just so ready for this map that this isn't even a challenge for them. Kynes hiding in a corner, luckily able to survive. Thank God recon senses aren't in the game anymore, but as the team comes back in, they're not going to have time for this team fight, let alone the fight and the steal.
Ooh, here we go. Turn this around. Finally getting the revive here. We might be able to see them turn this one back at it again here already. And taking one from Basila here. Frog3 is now down one player. Second one down. There it is. The assist on the next one here. Last player standing here. Already, I think they might be going down for the count here. And this cash out is going to the favor on side of BKO.
It was written from the beginning. The moment that F3 couldn't even make that first approach, and they were just doomed from then, they had a good chance on that second one, but you could tell their team cohesion isn't on the same level as BKO. And, hey, Frog3, they did get the second cash out on the last one. Vault 2 did end up going into their hands, so maybe we could see at least a little bit of a comeback here, where they just have to adapt to the situation, but let's go ahead and see what happens on this point right now, because if Frog3 loses this team fight, things could get very sticky.
Ooh, I'm not really sure if I like this, but it's going to be rough. Checks around, they do not find their mark there. Pretty sure it's just dummy, but all things considered, they are just kind of waiting around right now, which is not a good thing. I mean, F3, you are in the back foot now. You have to make a proactive play.
Well, this is pretty proactive because they're holding out for B and they're in a quick area to be able to take the pad over to Chal C if it does end up going over there. That being said, C is on the other side of the map in the market district, and it is going to be a little bit difficult for them to actually make it all the way across before the vault makes a considerable distance. In fact, we can see the fight happening right now in the apartments, and it is going to be already going in favor of BKO, although one trade does come through for Frog3 as they are able to take out the light. Now let's see how Frog3 capitalizes on this, because of the fact that they did get a res off. It is now a 3-on-2 situation. Looks like MXKX and Oppenheimer are actually going to go down as well. This is a good showing from Frog3. They actually caught them off guard.
Ooh, and right now the situation again back into their favor here. However, we don't see any votes being cashed out right now, so they have a little bit of time to work around that. And I really like how they might be able to turn this around, so long as they stay on the point. That is the one thing they can possibly do here. But maybe Frog3 want to change strategy. Maybe they want to just secure the cash out here and hope that, you know, by the time the vault comes their way, it's theirs.
Yeah, exactly. It's really going to just depend on how, you know, how Frog3 hold the point. This is what I was talking about last time, right? They did get cash out 2 in the last map, but it was only because of kind of a fluke in how BKO ended up approaching the situation. This time around, they're going to be a bit more dialed in. And let's see, does Frog3 stay on the point or not?
Oh my.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, they are staying on the point, and it's in the elevator.
Ooh, this is perfect. There's only one way for them to enter, unless they want to force, like, I don't know, an RPG into the side here to create a hole, but that's a little bit weird.
You can't create a hole in the elevator. It is the only indestructible option, or the only indestructible object in the game. That being said, look at this. The APS going to be blocking RPG and the barricade. They are able to actually fully separate themselves from the glitch grenade. They have an impenetrable fortress right here. This is looking so good for Frog3. BKO, they also have an option with a... I'm so sorry. They have an option by just dropping down. I was expecting a gateway play here, but no. Oppenheimer just full sending it inside of the elevator, and MXKX doing what he can. I got so caught off guard by that, but I think the BKO really needs to use the gateway here.
Yeah.
Ooh, and here we go though. Even if you see all that, it's not going to change anything until they get themselves onto the board right now, which is looking bigger each time.
One glitch grenade goes in. It's not going to do any damage to them because it has to be placed out of the way with the APS. They're gonna be full sending it right now, and there we go. They pull the crosshairs towards the heavy, which allows the light and the medium to get in the back lines. It's gonna be a full team wipe here for BKO. F3 with just a little bit of HP stays alive, and they're gonna stay in control. It's Frog3 that holds out in the elevator because they were finally forced to play on the point.
Ooh, not looking too good right now, huh?
Oh, wow.
Turn this around, it's gonna be a real hard rush, real hard.
Well, that's it for this point. This cash out is going to be Frog3's.
Bro, I hate elevator. That shit is so bad.
Ooh, and now they can turn this around here. Well, I'm hearing a lot of comms right now, and I'm not too sure what is going on about this.
Yeah, so the main thing that's happening right now is that BKO is figuring out if they just let Frog3 take control of the vault or if they are a bit more proactive on this one. And it looks like they are going to try to be a little bit more proactive. Now, Ryan, I want to get your opinion. Do you think that Frog3 won that just because it's the elevator? Or do you think they could have pulled that strat out anywhere else?
Truly, I say to you, does my elevator have 3 walls and a hole in the middle? Yes, it has, and that's the only reason they won. I'm going to be very honest with you. I do not possibly think that they could have done that if it were a open area. If they had 2 walls and like 2 openings, I think that would have been sealed the deal.
You think that might have been a little bit too much for them to deal with?
There might have been too little or too many openings for them. You know, 1 is good enough for me. There's a reason why it's Frog3, right? Frog3 walls around them. But that is how it is. So as we turn around,
no,
to see
we're
that
on
Oppenheimer's in a bit of a weird
offline.
situation.
He's in a little bit of an offline situation. There we go. Back to Frog3. Let's go ahead and see. I do believe they meant to switch over to MXKX or Kelcam's POVs. But as we are looking at Kinds, we see exactly how they're setting up for this push. It does look like BKO is going to be ultimately in control of the vault, and I believe they're taking it over towards the office building.
Can they see him? Oh, they do.
Yeah, I believe that Frog3 is in a good spot here. If they take the pad over initially, they can get this height because that is going to allow BKO to, at the very least, be in a disadvantage for pushing Cash Out D. They could always just turn tail and push Cash Out A instead.
Right, and so now in the situation that we're at, doesn't look like they can really do anything. They're just trying to find their marks here, jump around and see if they get anything here or behind it. It's such a weird situation, but hey, that's all good here. They have the ball in their hands here. The cash out is very nearby. As we see
Ooh.
that. Ooh, wait, we had that this whole time?
Wait.
Hey, bring that back,
no,
bring that back.
Bring that back. That was so cool. Okay, wait, I think they're still cooking on it, but it does look a little bit. Wait, who's in nighttime? Okay. Anyway, so as we could see from this, though, the fight is not going the way that they that Frog3 really anticipated it, because BKO, even though it was Frog3 who led the initial approach, BKO ends up with control of the cash out. They're going to be able to get the cash out already started up in the apartments here in the market district, and as we get ready to see what their setup is going to look like, it is going to be a more separated approach here, not all falling together, because the fact they know exactly what Frog3 is going to try when they approach.
Now, one thing's for sure though. BKO on the first half of this fight, and first half of this match, they have the advantage here, having taken out the first track out. But now that's even, and they are starting the next one here. They have a lot more riding on there to make this work, and Frog3 has to make a move right now. They have only one chance to do this if they want to do it, and maybe potentially a second round of fights here, but it's going to be a rough one.
Frog3 does have a good chance here, but as we can see right there, one player going down is going to be enough to make this whole plan crumble. Although, look at that, that is going to be one player going down on both teams, so we're in a 2v2 situation, but with that gateway making things a little bit awkward, it is going to be BKO that walks away with the victory. That gateway just so disruptive, where you could just insert players everywhere that you need them. This was such a great approach from BKO. Frog3 really has almost nothing that they can do to counteract that. There's no way that you could be looking everywhere at once, and now I believe there's only enough time for one final team fight. Frog3 has to win this fight within 5 seconds of them getting here if they want a chance to steal.
I don't know if 5 seconds is more than enough time for them, but hey, they're already primed and ready to go, and they're already being taken out just like that. I don't know if they can win the fight with 2 players here, and potentially 1 player now. So this is gonna be a rough one. 1 player left, the heavy goes down, tries to find some cover and see if you can take them for a surprise here, but I don't think there is any way they can make this game go for it. Frog3 is going to have to say goodbye to that cash out.
Absolutely, that's going to be the end of the game here for Frog3. That is 2 knockouts in a row. Very unfortunate, but at the same time, a really good showing for BKO. And honestly, on that last map, we didn't even get a chance to see Frog3 running away from the cash out, because at the very least, the cash out they won, they stood on it, and they actually held right on top of it. In map 1 on Vegas, the cash out that they got, they stood on it, and they held it. And every other cash out they didn't get, well, this time around, it was because, you know, either they gave it up for free, or because BREAKOUT, Oppenheimer, Kelcam squad are just too good. MXKX standing in for BREAKOUT. It is still a fantastic squad, and we can see that HML gameplay showing through on both of these maps today.
So what did we learn today, Artie? Just you and me?
Let's see. I got in my notes right here.
Right. Please take it out.
Play on the cash out.
Ah, yes. Play on the cash out. Frog3, y'all heard that, right? I mean, as you come back for next week's qualifiers, I mean, I don't want to see what y'all did here today. I want to see something new. I want to see something fresh. You guys had the bots here on standby. I think they're really lucky, actually, to be honest. They have 2 games back to back and also have it on bots. So, you know, that's our feedback to them. And I think the only other thing we can change from there is, change out the lineup. Barricades, real good strategy for sure, but I think just so outweighed by the fact that there's so much environmental, damage that could be going around you. So barricades don't feel that good right now.
It does seem like they're a bit afraid to play with the sandbox, but in any case, we are going to have some amazing gameplay coming for you right after this.